guys, and welcome to the Watchtower Watch Reviews with your host DK, and I am just, well, not quite just, but fairly recently off a little reveal call that I had with Christopher Ward. So I was lucky enough to be invited to the unofficial launch of their new C60 Trident Pro 300 meter diver, which is not an upgrade but a continuation of their Trident Pro series, and it's going to be their new dive watch. So why are they changing it? Well, for one thing, I actually have a Trident 600. It's a very nice watch. It's great. It has excellent specs. It's got a nice movement. It has a ceramic bezel insert in red. More on that in a second. But the problem with it, I found, was it was just a little bit large on wrist and a bit heavy. So with a couple of the new improvements that they're making, by the way, if you haven't seen my unboxing of the Trident 600 meters, it'll be on screen somewhere, and this will be more of a free-form video if you can't already tell from the start of this, but it's not going to be as planned out. I do have notes here, so I will have notes to refer to, but I do have an embargo on this video until the 25th of August, so I'll be releasing it as soon as it comes out on the website. My video will drop and you'll have my thoughts on the watch. So you may have seen me unbox the Trident Pro 600 on my channel. I actually bought it to celebrate when I got a new job, and I wore it for a week or two and I loved it for a bit, and then I started to kind of lose interest in it. And I think the main reason I lost interest in it was because it just was very heavy and it was very thick on wrist. Now, that is the case with dive watches, especially with something that goes water resistant to 600 meters. I mean, to put that into context, my Omega Seamaster that I have here, it's my grail, I love it. It only goes to 300 meters. I will never go that deep. Simply, I tried to do scuba diving and panicked. So I'm not really someone who's probably ever going to be down to 300 or 600 in the case of the Pro 600, but it's something that they're going to reduce. So they are going to take the thickness out of the watch, which is great. So I have some tech specs here. So they did do a little forum with the Christopher Ward forum, which is a group on Facebook, I believe. And they asked what makes the perfect dive watch. So what the forum requested was they wanted it slimmer, which is something I would completely agree with. They wanted more lume, again, something I agree with. You can never have too much lume. I love lume on every watch. They wanted an exhibition case back. Okay. Not too bad. I mean, it's the Cited SW300 that's in the Christopher Ward dive watches. So not a bad movement, not an ugly movement by any stretch of the imagination. They wanted the new Twin Flags logo, which is going on, and they wanted a screwed link bracelet. Now, there was a bit of controversy on that recently. So first of all, Christopher Ward were using a pin and collar system that I think a lot of people disliked. It's a bit awkward to size. The reason they used that is because they didn't want to use push pins, but they also didn't want to use screws because they felt that screws would be more likely to be damaged by someone when they were changing the bracelet themselves. So to avoid that, they used the pin and collar system. I'll be honest, I was never a big fan of pin and collar. I always find it a bit of a pain in the ass. You end up dropping collars. They're tiny, they're like minuscule, really, really tiny, and you'll never find the damn things again. So they took on board a couple of those things. So they made the watch slimmer. So they have two versions coming up of the Pro 300. They have the 42mm version and they have a 39mm version. So that was the same as the one that they had previously. But the big thing is they've reduced it down by 1.9mm on the 42mm version. So it's down to just 11.5mm. So again, to put that in perspective, I'll drop the screen here of how thick my Omega Seamaster is, and that'll give you an idea of how well that watch is going to wear. So that is my Seamaster on wrist there, nice and comfortable, fits me perfectly, love it. So if the Christopher Ward is anything like that, it's going to be amazing. The 39mm is going to be 1.6mm thick, and that's down to just 11mm. Now with 300 meters of water resistance, an exhibition case back, obviously you've got sapphire, crystal, and some other improvements. I think that's pretty good that they've got that down. So as I say, they have reduced water resistance. It's gone from 600 to 300 meters, but whoever needs 600 meters, let's be honest, the people who actually use a dive watch for diving is, I reckon it's in the fractions of a percentage. Most of us are just going to wear it because dive watch make wrist look cool. You know, it's not really a thing. You know, we're going to bring it swimming, we're going to bring it to the beach, we're going to bring it on holidays. That's about it. It's going to see maybe, what, 10 meters water resistance. That's probably all you're ever going to need. But it's still cool, it's still fun to have. So they also are going to pump in 15% more grade X1 BCC1 lume. I don't know what that means. They put it on screen. Grade X1 I know is supposed to be this is supposed to be the like highest level of lume you can get. BL I'm guessing is blue, Luminova, and then there is it's C1, so I think it's C3 Super Luminova. C1 is the high grade one. Again, it's more lume. Put it that way. It's more lume. Just be happy. It's more lume. They did also get the Swish only logo. So if you take a look on the screen here, you should be able to see the new dials options that they have coming on. So there's a black, there's a white, there's a blue, and there's a green in both sizes. So you've got 42 and 39. Previously they had a red, which is the one I had, but no one makes red ceramic apparently anymore. They're just really, really hard to get. It's apparently just a thing that like Rolex have it, and apparently nobody seems to have it anymore. They just don't do red ceramics. It's going by the way of the dodo. It's a pain in the ass to make. You have to super treat ceramic to get it the red color. They just said forget about it, we're not doing it anymore, which is fine. To be honest, the red one, the only reason I got a red one is I got it second hand. It's fine. To be honest, black could have just been equally as good to me. Black is the one I think a lot of people are going to pick, or blue. The green is my favorite. I'm going to drop that on screen here as well. I think it's a cool looking watch, very different, real nice, but still classic. You know, it's not like they've done something different just for the sake of being different, but they also haven't just said here's a Rolex Submariner Homage, we'll just throw that logo on it and that's the end of that. It's something that's very different and very nice. Now, I did say at the start of the video, there is a screwed bracelet. There is a bit of a story, and Mike France actually alluded to this on the video. He is the guy who runs CW. So he had said they had a screwed bracelet on the new release of their watch called the Aquitaine. Again, if you want a link to anything, it'll be on the description of the video. They had a screwed bracelet on the Aquitaine, and they put 2 screws on it instead of the one. So it's screwed at either ends like this. And the problem was when you turn this screw would also rotate as well. So when you try to unscrew it, it just does this. And I just realized I'm flipping off the camera, so I'll do this again. So it would just screw this way. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to hold this screw in place, and then you turn this one so that this will turn and this stays in place so that they eventually come out. The reason they had done that is because they had gone to their bracelet manufacturer, and if you haven't experienced the CW bracelet, you are doing yourself a disservice. I mean, genuinely, outside of my Omega, I don't know of another bracelet that I like as much. It has micro adjustments on the fly. It's really comfortable. They're great. And now that they're screw bracelets as well, they claim that they're second to only Rolex. I don't know because I haven't really worn a Rolex, but they certainly look the business. And from their previous offerings of the C65 chronograph that I had and the C60 Pro 600 that I do have as well, I can't complain about their bracelets. I think they're fantastic, and if there's no micro brand that I've ever had that has come close to them. So if you do get a chance, do get onto CW and pick yourself up one of their watches on a bracelet. But so I am rambling a small bit on this. So the other thing is they now have got their single screw bracelet, which is the main thing. They also have even more levels of on-the-fly micro adjust. So actually, do I have mine near me? I don't. Give me 1 second. So that is how the micro adjust is going to work for them. It's a little push the clasp back, slide the bracelet out. Works marvelously well already, but they decided to improve it, going from 8mm of adjustment to 10mm. So I think they got 1 extra ratchet or maybe 2 extra ratchets in. And they also tapered the bracelet down as well. So it's going to go from, I think, 22 at the wrist, or maybe 20. They didn't actually give, oh, they did give specs. Specs be on screen now. So whatever the spec is for the bracelet, it's going to taper down to 16, just under 16.5mm, and it's going to wear really, really well, I think, at that point. In terms of other improvements, yeah, we've got these. Now, what else have we got? The date window. So my personal preference for date windows has always been 6 o'clock. 3 o'clock is fine, 6 o'clock is better. Why 6 o'clock? Well, 6 o'clock tends to be a case of, and for the example of the Omega, and I don't know if this is going to show up on camera, but Logos tend to be at 12 o'clock, and therefore the date at 6 o'clock balances out the dial. It also means that any truncation doesn't get noticed as much because your eye doesn't automatically drop to the bottom of the dial, and if it does, you tend not to see the truncated index, or truncated, shortened, abbreviated, cut off, smushed, whatever word you want to use. So I think 6 o'clock day positions are the way to go forward, and Christopher Ward have finally started listening to people. So they have done that, but not only have they done that, there are 4 colorways of dial coming out, and they are color matching every single one of them. That is not something I've seen too many people do. So they are going to have a black date window, a white date window, a blue date window, and a green date window. So you are never going to have to look at an ugly ass date window on your lovely black, jet black watch and then see this ugly ass white date. That was something I hated on my 600 actually, is the fact that it has a lovely black dial and then an ugly ass cheap looking white date. And it bothered me about that watch, and it's possibly one of the reasons I haven't worn it as much as I normally would have, because it's something that really pissed me off. But they have fixed that, and not only have they fixed that, they've gone above and beyond, because to be honest, with a blue date window, if the indices were white, I'd have taken a white date window. With the black, I'd have taken a black. With the with the green, if it was white, I'd have taken white. It wouldn't have bothered me. But they're color matching everything, and that is just another little bit of detail that they're doing. Now, do I have anything else? Oh yeah, colors. So I'll drop those on the screen here. So you've got white with an orange second hand, you've got blue with an orange second hand, you've got a plain black with a white, and you've got a green with an orange second hand, which is handy because hopefully that's the one they sent to me, because as an Irishman, I would love to review a green, white and gold watch. Handy out thing for me. The blue and orange, the blue with the orange second hand is also really tasty because it's very nice looking. So how much can you expect to pay for one of these? So Christopher Ward have a brand new watch out. You're expecting, with all the inflation around the world, you're expecting a price increase. It's a new watch, so obviously it's going to be highly in demand. So what's the price increase? There isn't one. Not only is there not one, there's a price decrease because they're using less steel, they're using a slightly less thick sapphire piece, and apparently they don't have to engineer it half as much to make it 600 meters. So they have knocked, I think it's 100 quid off the price of the 600. So you are getting a watch with a Sellita SW200, one of the best bracelets in the business, in one of 4 very nice colorways, with micro adjust on the fly, and a seriously nice Sellita SW200 in it, for £695, $850 or €895 on a tropical silicone strap. I dare you to try and find me something like this. In the micro brand world or in the regular world, I dare you to find me something that has that level of nice bracelet, that level of looks, which is personal admittedly, and that level of caliber of movement. I can tell you now, right, I've looked at watches that are 200 quid, 300 quid, 400 quid more expensive. They don't have CW level bracelets. That is their absolute defining feature. Their bracelets are awesome. Now you will pay a bit more for the bracelet version. It's €895 for those of us based in the European Union. I anticipate it's probably about another 100, 150. So you're talking maybe Longines Hydro Conquest money, maybe if you got that on a discount. But what you can do as well is they tend to have discount codes floating around, which give you between 120 to 150 quid off. That'll pay for your bracelet, so you'll get it for about 895. I think that's pretty good. So if you do want one of these, it's launching Thursday the 25th at 10 a.m. on British Savings Time. I think it's British Savings Time, isn't it? I don't know, I'm just going to call it GMT. 10 a.m. I'll drop a link down below whenever it comes out. And I am super excited for this. I really hope to send one into the channel because I would love a look at that green one, or the blue one, or the black. The only one that I wasn't as massively fussed about was the white, but 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Guys, I have been your host DK. This has been the Watchtower Watch Reviews. This has been me rambling for a solid, I'd say, 10 to 15 minutes. Who cares though? I'm excited about a watch again for the first time since I bought my Omega. I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.